put this in. Hey guys. We're getting things set up right here, so please give us a minute. Thanks.
How many mics we using?
Just two. One red. I know. One red and one yellow. Okay. I go live here. Hey guys, welcome. Please give us a minute. We're just getting things set up here. Is this Manny's good side? I think it is. So let's keep it on this side, right? Let's scoot back a little. There we go. You guys can hear us, right? Everything's good on Instagram?
1, 2, 1, 2.
Trying out these new mics. Hopefully it works out better. Hello. I can't see the comment, so if you have anything, my wife's gonna please go ahead and just comment in the live section. And my wife is in the background. She will manage. She's our manager, time manager, and everything else manager, moderating. So hello, I'm Sir Campalot, and I'm here with Manny at the Portland store. Manny, can you, I know that we always do this, but can you introduce yourself just one more time for our audience, please?
I am Manny. Hopefully most of you are familiar with me. If not, I am the assistant manager here at the Portland flagship store. I've been here for, a little over 5 years. And for those of you who do know me well and somehow follow my actual personal accounts, know that a little while back, I did take a break from Snow Peak and I have come back. It was so good to see so many of you at Snow Peak Way this past October. I'm sure a lot of you were shocked when you saw me there, but I'm glad to be back.
Well, I'm glad you're back. Yeah. I mean, wow, what a surprise! You gave me a heart attack there.
Yeah, Sakoa had the biggest surprise there because he did not know that I had returned to Snow Peak.
I mean, I thought we were close, but I guess he didn't tell me. I guess he wanted to surprise me. Thank you, Manny, for keeping that surprise. Yeah, so what are we talking about today? Today it's at the end of the year and the holidays coming. So we want to talk about some 2025 gear that, we've had a chance to use throughout this year, and some holiday gift guides and some upcoming festival items for fall and autumn. The stuff's already out in Japan, but hopefully we'll be getting it and kind of giving people a preview of what's ahead.
Yep.
And also, last but not least, winter camping tips. So as you can see, I brought some of my favorite winter gear here. So I'll be giving you guys some tips, and not only camping individually, but also with a family, maybe with a baby or a toddler, because we did that last winter and it was great. So yeah. So what is your favorite gear for 2025 that came out?
For me, it may not seem like a big deal, but for me, we finally got the actual little leg protectors for the chairs, because I do like using my chairs at home as well. And for all of you who have our chairs and take them out, you know that the bottoms can get scratched up. And if you have hardwood floors at home and you want to use it at home, you don't want to mess up your floor. And these little protective leg covers finally came in from Japan. That was, for me, the biggest thing that like I was so excited for because I do use my chairs like on a daily basis. And then besides that, like getting in some of the like the newer light setups was really cool to see that, you know, we have options for that were like non-gas oriented. So the that color changing lamp and then the hanging lantern were like fun to play with. Um, and then the other, I don't own it, but I set up enough of these for people at like Snow Peak Way. But was this guy the entire Land Nest shelter? I love the fact that it's such a great price point. Super easy to set up because a lot of people who got this were a little overwhelmed to begin with, but once I explained to them how to set it up, they realized that this is like a fun 15-20 minute long like tent setup. Those were some of my favorite things. There were some things that I was hoping would have arrived this year, but they just kind of got delayed. So I do look forward to them for next year.
Yeah, definitely. You're right. I absolutely really do love the land nest shelter that we have back here. I mean, I think for me personally, I really like the Living Shell Long Pro or that shape. And I think the land nest shelter kind of has that shape, but at a much more um, approachable price point.
Yeah,
And it's
definitely.
all in one package. Took this camping all summer, this past summer, and it was amazing. Easy to set up, super easy to set up. It's actually pretty light considering. I
Yeah.
mean, it might seem like heavy if it's your first time, but if you compare with other higher denier shelter, this one is a lot lighter. It's about the same
It's
type
like
as Alpha Breeze, right?
Yeah, it's like 35 pounds for its size. It's relatively light because I think the Landlock, which is just a smidge bigger than this, is closer to 45 pounds. So,
Right.
you know, it's a bit the Landlock is a bit burly. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so for the land nest shelter, you probably seen the ad that I'm in it. So I am the land nest shelter guy. So I like everything about it, but just a couple of notes for you guys to kind of think about when if you haven't gotten the shelter is that setting it up in the wind could be a little bit challenging because this front loop area right here, if you don't have it tied down, it does get blown. So you have to kind of like get that going first immediately after you set up your main A-frame. So that's the only really downside to it. It's pretty cool. Like if you face it towards where the wind is blowing, it has a tunnel-like shape. So if you open everything up in the summer, it gives you that nice breeze and really cool air to keep the whole family cool. Now, if you don't have any shade, then I mean, honestly, it's going to be hot regardless if you have no protective shade while you're camping at all. So I would try to find a spot at your campsite to get some shade if possible. Any other tips for them using the land nest shelter, Manny?
Um, One thing for those of you who bought it and either it's just been sold out or whatnot, but getting the additional roof cover for it will uh, help protect kind of like your investment for the most part. But that having that extra kind of roof on there will alleviate a bit of the heat. So when you are doing that summer camping, it does add that little extra layer of shade in there. I know we are sold out of them at the moment, but there should be more coming in. So for all of you who have bought the Land Nest shelter and haven't bought the roof, I would say as soon as that roof comes back into stock, definitely pick one up because it's worth getting. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and I actually used the mat and ground sheet set for the Manado Medium. Actually, that's the only set that I have. I use it for all of my shelters, so no matter what it is, I use it. And I will tell you that that fits pretty well with the Alpha Breeze, but for the land nest shelter for the inner room tent, it is a little bit big. So what I do is I just fold it. It's a little bit awkwardly shaped, but it covers most of it. There are about 80% of it if I fold it in 2/3, or sorry, 1/3 is folded, so it covers about 80% of it. So it doesn't fit perfectly, but it's fine. Like it gives it a nice cushion and some insulation if you need that from the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely those are some nice tips for you to have. I guess the only other thing that I got to mention is that the inner tent, you need to put two stakes down for the inner part of the inner tent. So that doesn't really tie down to anything inside the land nest shelter. So keep that in mind. It does stick out a little bit, from the main entrance, the A-frame entrance like that. So keep that in mind and wash your feet. Yeah. What else? Did you try the new sleeping system?
I only got to play with the mat and with the inflating aspect of it. We're still waiting for the second half, I guess, technically, of the sleep systems to get in. But the mats are very plush because they are about 4 or 5 inches wide once they're like kind of inflated. And because it's just like a giant bladder, its packability is so much nicer because old our older mats, which we still have, are about this big, and then these new mats pack down to that size, which is
Yeah,
nice
they're
for
literally it's like about the size of this bottle,
yeah.
a little bit thicker than this, but not much bigger.
Yeah, so it's great for people who are camping in groups and you have limited space in a vehicle. That's the big plus to that for sure. It's like the space saving aspect. It does take a bit of effort if you're doing the manual kind of inflation because you are essentially from the little foam device that's built into it, you're doing CPR to that mat for a while. But at least, for those of you who do travel with an actual air pump, there is on the flip side of the mat, there is a way to inflate it with an air pump, which is nice, which will speed up the process.
No, that's great because the old Snow Peak mat that was, I think, is discontinued or not.
I don't think so
Just
based
hasn't
on the
been on stock.
price. It's still a popular selling item because even when the new mats came out, there are people who still are like diehard fans of the old ones and pick those up.
Yeah, I gotta say that the old one, I don't know about you, but I try to use the pump like from Xpad or whatever. Like it doesn't really fit
Mhm.
properly, so you got to use the airbag that comes with it to fill with air, and then pump the mat. And to me, that's something to consider
Yeah,
if you have one of those electric pump from Xpad or other companies. It
yeah.
doesn't fit that well.
Occasionally, that is like I would say that's the drawback for most mats. Is just trying to fill them up with air. But the that older 2.5 does require a little bit of like elbow grease
Hmm.
using the airbag to inflate it. Um, but I do like what I do like about that is when I've borrowed one of those and it actually had a puncture, at least when it deflated, I still had a bit of the foam pad
Oh,
to protect me. Yeah, so
it's all about the foam pad. I
yeah,
do like foam pads. I actually prefer the older one comparing to the newer one. But I mean, I would imagine the newer one is much more compact
yeah.
and packable. So it's great for summer camping. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you don't need to protect yourself from the ground or anything like that. So definitely. How about the sleeping bag? You don't have we don't have it yet over here, right?
No, they haven't arrived yet. They should have gotten here like weeks ago, but I think they just got stuck in the port. Um,
Is it more like a blanket type of system
yeah,
where you layer?
it's supposed to kind of integrate with the new sleeping pads because there's like a hooking system into it. So you run it kind of like a comforter. So
Mm,
it is probably better suited for more fair weather
hmm.
or fair temperature type of camping. But there is a synthetic and a downfill version. So the down will obviously be more oriented towards like colder type of camping.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right. What else did I miss? The lighting stuff, right? The battery lighting stuff. I actually really like the smaller battery. You have it down here, right?
Yep.
With the smaller lantern, not the hanging lantern. The hanging lantern is great for area light, where you just hang it on a power driver and have it kind of be that light to kind of shine through the area. But this one is a great tabletop. This battery size is really awesome, and actually, we're gonna be giving one of these away. So it's great to have on the tabletop, and it gives you a really nice ambience. And I'm a fan of battery lights
Mm.
because you can carry anywhere. It's easy to start. You don't have to worry about fuel, and you can put it inside your tent. Which one do you like better? Do you like the hanging lantern, or do you like the smaller tabletop light?
The For me, I like more of the tabletop just because I most of the times when I'm hanging a light, it's just going to be the mini Hazuki,
Mm,
and I just like that same aspect just because it's even smaller. It's like for me, it's one less thing to kind of bump my head against.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, at least for me, because the battery is so weighted towards the bottom, I'd rather it just live as like a tabletop setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, I'm missing the tarp, right? The Lag Pro.
There was the new 2-layer tarp, which I haven't experienced out in the wild. I know
I did. I took
Sokoa
it. Yep.
has taken it out. I just know from like handling the bag that having those two big pieces of fabric is hefty to begin with, weight wise. Um, and yeah, I just haven't seen one yet set up.
Yeah. So I set it up. Me and Nate, we actually took it out, and it was a good camping trip because we had all sorts of weather, from like being really cold at night to being super hot in the afternoon. So we set it up. It's kind of like an aquatart, uh, in that sense of like the difficulty and the technicality of setting it up to get all the tension right. But the inner layer is actually attached
Hmm.
to the main layer of the tarp. So you have these two layers that are already attached, and the inner layer is not a takibi fabric. It's some kind of, I don't know, what do you know what it's made out of?
I can't remember the exact fabric, but it's supposed to be kind of like a cooling type of textile.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like, yeah, it's very porous and it has feels a little polyester like. So it's very like light looking, and it's supposed to block light to keep you cool and increase the airflow of the tarp. And I have to admit that it works. You wouldn't think like a simple thing like that would do make a difference, but it actually does. It was like 80 degrees when Nate and I were sitting in a hot burning sun in the afternoon, and we had no shade at all. And it actually, the air was just coming in, and we were like, made a huge difference in keeping us cool. So it actually really, really works. The only thing that I gotta say is you can't have a fire underneath it. It's not Takibi spec. So don't don't have a wood fire underneath it. You can use like a propane fire or something like that. That's okay, but please don't use wood fire. It is Snow Peak. I would say that it is Snow Peak's biggest tarp out to date right now. It can probably fit like a dozen people under there comfortably. So I think it's great for larger group, or maybe larger gathering. If you're just having a picnic at the park or something, set that up and just have a good time. Yeah. So what else? The the technical stuff about the technical stuff about it when setting it up is that you have to adjust the tension. Like the two main pulls, you have to make it very tense. Like you have to adjust the guidelines to make it very tense, but the side guidelines has to be a little loose. You gotta let it loose, otherwise it's just gonna sag. Okay. Um, yeah. So otherwise, I do like the tarp. The only thing I gotta say is $1,300. That's quite a price drop. You just have to have like a large amount of people to make sense to use that tarp
yeah.
for that price point.
The tarp will be made specifically for like a type of audience. It isn't for everyone. Yeah, it's really made for like gatherings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to festival items that are for fall and winter season. So, what are some items that are coming out, and when is it coming out over here? Do you think?
Uh, I do know that the festival stuff has been arriving from Japan slowly because some of the boxes have gotten here passed through my hands. Um, I believe, if I remember correctly, there's gonna be a incense holder that is designed to look like the cast iron pill, made out of ceramic,
Yeah.
which is super nice. It's a smaller version of it. I think that one's probably gonna be the top selling one for sure. Another thing that I have seen come through already is the cornhole setup. So for those of you who aren't familiar, it's like the plank with the hole cut out that you throw the bean bags into. The one thing for that, if I'm reading the packaging correctly, there is just one board and a couple of the bean bags per box. So for those of you who are doing the bigger setup, you will have to buy these in twos. Um, and then I think one of the other items that I do know that everyone has been asking for is the paper shades for the mini Hazukis,
Mm.
because a lot of you waited a little too long on the last festival ones that were for the big Hazukis, and once they were out, that's when all of you started calling here at the shop.
It wasn't
And
me. I
yeah,
did buy like 4 to 5 here though, but it wasn't
no,
me.
there's someone else who's guilty of buying a few more, but The paper shades, a lot of you are always like, oh, well, it costs X amount. Like, just buy it if you want it because once it's gone, those resale values on those little paper shades is nothing compared to, yeah, it's just worth getting if you want it.
Yeah, definitely, and it has a very unique shape. It actually makes the Mini Hazuki look a lot bigger
Hmm.
than its shape. It's yeah, it has a really, really unique shape. So I'm probably gonna pick up a few of those, maybe 4 or 5. How
Yeah.
many Mini Hazukis do you have?
I have about 15 mini Hazukis.
Oh yeah, I have about that much too, but
Yeah.
they're mostly like battery operated. I
Yeah.
only have like a few rechargeable
Mine,
ones.
mine are all the old ones.
Yeah,
I love them. Yeah, they're great just because you can use them just about anywhere, not
yeah,
just for camping purposes.
yeah.
Yeah, those are scattered throughout my home. Whenever there's a power outage, I know where I can find a light.
So I have a question about the incense holder. Does it come with incense?
Yes, I believe it will have some little kind of like sample size incense in there for people just to use it.
And
And then
does it like can you use it to like hold the incense or is it just a case to keep incense?
that I haven't fully taken it and unwrapped it out of the package, but I believe like you should be able to keep it
Yeah,
open.
like with the
Or
lid, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hopefully, it's not too short because you got to find the right inset size. Because I remember the mosquito coil and all that stuff. We had the mini mosquito coil.
Yeah.
It
You
was
gotta
really hard to find for the mini mosquito pig.
yeah,
So
for
yeah,
whenever we get like that product right that it's hard to find something in the US market designed for it, we always have to learn how to modify it. So yeah, with the coils, snip them to make them fit into the mini pigs. For the incense, I guess if you have something that's too big, same thing, just snip it, make it work.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now the cornhole, that's a fun item because I'll definitely be picking up one of those as well because I saw people on Instagram and they're using it as like a mini table and
Mm,
various other things where the hole in the middle they put like various things like this bottle right here can fit in it or like a power driver or something like that or something really creative so you can take it in many directions. It doesn't have to be just using it for playing cornhole or anything like that.
yeah.
So definitely highly recommend that. You think there's going to be a pretty limited stock on the cornhole and the festival items this year?
Uh, I'm not sure, but it's always hard to gauge because sometimes we feel like we get too much festival stuff
Hmm.
and it just sells out just as quickly. And other times there's things that we don't order enough and it just kind of sits there for a while.
Mm.
So it just depends on, who's getting the festival pieces and talking it up to their friends about it.
Mm.
Most of the time, those festival pieces are either going to true diehard fans or it's just someone like randomly stumbled across it and was stoked and got everyone else stoked on it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
There's no incense holder. Mm. Okay, scratch that. Does not hold your incense. It's just a case for it. Cool. All right. So I think that's pretty much all the items for the upcoming festivals. Let's do our first giveaway, and I want to show the item. Can you hand me the black bag, please? I got this Snow Peak bag. It's reusable. It's from Korea. Had it for 3 years. All right. So this is the Snow Peak light box that I am giving away. I actually made this with a 3D printer, so it is not an official Snow Peak product. It's just a fan product giving away to you guys so you guys can celebrate your fandom. So you just need one of these batteries. It doesn't have to be this battery, but if you have a small battery pack to charge your phone or anything like that, you just plug it through a USB and it should light up like this. So it looks really nice at night in your campsite. So we're doing 3 giveaways. So let's start with the number 3 first, and then we'll save the grand prize for the very end. So we'll do 3 right now, and then number 2, and then number 1 at the very end. So for this time, it's going to be this box right here. So Manny, I need you to get your random number generator, please. Give me a second here. I am going to post something. We need to generate from number 1 to 221.
221.
Yes. Give me 1 minute here. Hey, I'm ready for you, Manny.
Ready? Hitting the button now. Number is 204.
204 on my list. Subi Noboru. Congratulations, you got a light box, my friend. Can we note this down? Okay. I'm gonna just highlight it on my list here. Okay, cool. All right. All right, let's see what's up next. Let's talk about winter camping tips. Manny, do you like winter camping?
Only if I can stay warm, really. Besides that, I'm fine with it. I've been out. Usually, if I've done like really cold camping, it's probably because I went out like on an overnight like little backpacking excursion up onto like Mount Hood, and it can get pretty chilly up there. And for me, it's just having like the right apparel, the right kind of sleeping bag, and the right size tent, especially if you're doing stuff like on your own. Um, but for me, yeah, if I know I'm gonna do any type of winter camping, I will usually just bring out my like one person backpacking tent, so my Lago, um, because that little guy will hold a lot of heat in there, and I don't need kind of an extra added source for heat. It's just my sleeping bag and my clothes, and I'm fine.
Yeah. Um, I actually winter camping is my favorite time to camp. I love harsh weather. I don't like wind though. I don't mind the rain. I don't mind the snow, but I think when in windy weather, that's like the worst camping condition because it's hard to set up things, and it's just not fun when it's like windy. You're out there, you're being blasted by the wind, and it's not really enjoyable, right?
And then it's just loud from the wind.
Yeah, it's just loud from the wind. But I like rain. I don't care if it's like raining super hard. I don't care if it's snowing. I've gone in all types of condition, even windy condition. If it's like super windy, I just stay inside the shelter and just like try to have a good time inside the shelter. But otherwise, if it's raining, then I keep my shelter open. Just I really love the sound of rain, so that's why I like winter camping so much because in the fall and winter in the Pacific Northwest, it rains like all the time. So cleaning up sucks. Like it's not great, but hey, it's part of the game. It's part of the fun. So yeah, I really do like it. So I want to talk about some winter camping tips. Like you said, like you like winter camping if you can stay warm, right?
Hmm.
So the question is, what are some items for people to keep themselves warm during winter? Let's start out with non-heat source like sleeping bags and sleeping pads, perhaps. So for me, I remember back then when 2003, 23 Snow Peak Way, we were camping in Thai Valley during in October, and you would think, well, it's Thai Valley, Central Oregon.
Yeah.
It's not that cold, right? But it gets super cold at night. It was below freezing or something. It felt like that, and I had
Yeah,
a summer sleeping bag on.
the temperature dropped that
Yeah, it
particular Snow
dropped
Peak way.
really hard. And I didn't have a Snow Peak cot. I had a cot from another brand that I don't want to mention, but it was low to the ground. And it not only that, it sunk my body to the ground. So I was really close to the ground. I felt all of that air coming up to me, and I couldn't sleep. Like I was so uncomfortable. I had a horrible time sleeping. So never again. Got myself a Snow Peak cot. Get myself a really good sleeping bag. The orange, the older Snow Peak sleeping bag, the orange one. Those are fantastic for winter camping. They're thicker and they are more like a blanket. But I gotta say that having a besides having a cot, having a sleeping pad is excellent. That foam layer in a sleeping pad, it's insulation,
Yep.
so you don't feel all of that air from the ground coming up. And I feel like taking Evelyn with us, I try to have that too. I bring an expat duo, and I use a little pack and play and put that on top of the expat duo for her to have some insulation. And she would wear, like, when she was less than 1 year old, like you can't use a blanket on her. So we got like a Columbia or North Face onesie that's like padded, kind of like a sleeping bag. And she would be layer up in that, and she would sleep in her pack and play without basically a blanket or a sleeping bag, and she was perfectly fine. Um, do you have any experience in sleeping system to keep you
Yeah.
comfortable and warm?
So like a big important thing, right? For those of you who are like who do camp with the cot and you haven't done it in the wintertime, you definitely want some sort of like mat, some or a blanket between yourself and that cot because that will help trap a bit more of the heat. That's a big thing because I got caught out like that too on the coast where it also dropped, not expecting for the temperatures to drop and sleeping on a cot, and it just was such a struggle to try to stay warm no matter what I was wearing. Um, yeah, for cot sleeping, definitely have a mat that's gonna save you in the winter
Yeah.
time. Another kind of trick when it comes to like cold weather in general is just like you need wool garments, so like wool socks,
Mm,
like even like a thin wool beanie on will trap a lot of heat in there. You'd be surprised with how hot you can actually get just wearing those simple pieces. One trick that I picked up from someone was just getting hot water into like an Nalgene bottle,
oh yeah,
throw
that's
that in
great.
your
Yeah.
sleeping bag with you, and you've got your little like heat source. That is definitely a game changer because like it'll keep you warm, and then as you're asleep, your body temps kind of go up. It'll keep that like bottle of water warm. So that's another way to kind of keep yourself
Yeah,
toasty
warm.
overnight.
Definitely. I mean, I've seen other people use electric blanket as well
Yeah.
to keep themselves warm, but then again, that comes with energy management. You gotta have a battery pack, and you can't just take an electric blanket that you use at home to go camping because that's not outdoor rated. So if it gets wet, then you're kind of like in a dangerous situation. So you need to get one. If you're going to use an electric blanket, make sure that it is outdoor rated for camping. So just keep that in mind and get a good battery pack. I mean, speaking of battery pack, they're like super cheap this time of Black Friday. You Google Amazon, you can go 1 kilowatt for like $350. So on any of the popular brands. So super great time for you guys to pick up a battery pack. So keep that in mind. Um, for me personally, I also like to stay warm. Besides, we don't sleep all the time. So I last year I did the hot stove thing, and I've always really loved wood stove in um, in the shelter or the tent. I cut a hole in my mesh shelter, and that's worked out great. And then I found some ways to like vent it outside of to the one of the entrance of my living shell and other shelters. But this year, setting up a wood stove takes a lot of time, and unfortunately, having a toddler doesn't allow you to have that much time to set up stuff. So I needed to pick up something that's a little more convenient to set up that will keep us comfortable this year. So I got the Snow Peak rainbow stove with me here today. I'm gonna open it up and show you guys and give you guys a little uh, preview review about this stove right here. It's really an awesome stove, and I got it from Japan. You can't get it here, so if you want to know how I got it, shoot me a DM on Instagram or something like that. So it doesn't come with the case when you buy the rainbow stove or glow stove or any stove from Japan. You have to buy it separately. But this one, uh, I it came with the case, and it says rainbow on here, so this case is a little more special than other case that doesn't say rainbow. Does it make a difference? No. Just has more wording on it. So this is the stove right here. Oh, the base fell off. It has a base that goes underneath here, but I'm gonna leave it off for now. So this stove here is Snow Peak's Rainbow Stove. It's a 2018 edition, and it's basically a Toyotomi stove, but Snow Peak kind of put their brand on it and remade it and made it their own in that sense. So this one, it lights up. The flame will be in this compartment right here. When it lights up properly, when you give it some time to light up, you can see the reflection, the rainbow reflection in this glass right here. That's where the magic happens, is that this glass reflects light to make it pretty. So it is very pretty to look at. I mean, you don't have to have like a fire inside your shelter or your tent, and you can just kind of like look at this and just kind of be lost in how beautiful it is, right? And it's kerosene, super easy to start. You just fill up fuel right here, and it will last about 20 hours on low to medium heat. But otherwise, if you have it on high, it should last you at least through the night, at least 8 to 10 hours. So you can sleep with this on, but just make sure that you have a carbon monoxide detector. And speaking of the carbon monoxide detector, Manny, is that coming here? Is the Snow Peak one coming?
I believe it's supposed to come.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I just don't have a timeline, but I did hear that was eventually making its way to the US.
Yeah, that's on my to-buy list. I need one of those. So yeah, this one is really great, but the only downside is you can't get it here. You gotta get it from Japan. But if you're looking for a really simple solution, you can find this at REI. I mean, listen, it isn't the prettiest solution, but this thingy, it's a win. I mean, this thingy can output so much heat. I remember I had the larger version of this sleeping in the Living Shell Long Pro at 2024 Snow Peak Way, and I had it full on, and it was so hot that I had to like turn it to medium. So the bigger version of this only has, or excuse me, the bigger version of this has 2 of these compartments as heating source. So this is the smaller version, and it only has one of this section right here for heating, and this is enough to keep your Living Shell Long Pro heated and very, very hot. It runs on propane, and these things are super efficient with a 20-pound propane, like no problem at all for the weekend on a 20-pound propane. So yeah, highly recommend you guys get a buddy heater.
An important thing with all of these heaters in general, just no matter what you get, is they're really designed for shelters. Do not bring it inside the actual tent that you're sleeping in. Yeah, this you want to have it kind of like on the actual exposed ground setup, or have
Yeah.
good, decent like airflow ventilation in there. That's why like it's good for shelter setups,
Yeah,
but not the inside of the tent for your own safety.
that's actually a great point. I forgot to mention that because I've always had this outside of my inner tent. I've never had it inside the inner tent. It does get hot enough, so even if you are in this one comes with a carbon monoxide detector built in, so it'll shut off if it detects anything. But even with that, I am super cautious, and I always leave something open, one of the window or panels open just in case. Like you never know. All right. Yeah, so that's my winter camping tips, and don't forget your Takibi fire and grill, because what wood fire, sitting around the wood fire in the snow or in like cold weather is the best. Yeah. So any other tips that you can think of for winter camping?
Blankets. That's kind of like the big thing, right? Hopefully you've got some like nice wool blankets, or just maybe some like down blankets that you don't mind getting kind of a little beat up taking it outdoors. I hope most of you were able to pick up like the Takibi Rumple blankets that we've had in the past.
Oh, those are nice.
Those are really nice, and right, you can kind of wear them like a cloak because they've got the little clasp on them. but just kind of getting creative with those little like options. So if you don't have access to like a heat source, that's just kind of a nice way to kind of keep you cozy.
And layer up. Don't forget your rain jacket. Like Snow Peak's Gore-Tex stuff is really good. I was wearing my usual Patagonia jacket, and it's not Gore-Tex, but it's somewhat rainproof. But I was on heavy rain, like the whole jacket is soaked, like my inner layer is soaked. But I wore the Gore-Tex, Snow Peak's Gore-Tex jacket last time, and it was pouring, and I was mostly dry, so it's great. Don't forget your Gore-Tex jacket. All right, should we do another giveaway? Now this one is going to be for a light box and one of these, or actually a set of these plaques. Let me get closer to show you guys. Custom made plaques. It looks like this. It's a set of 4. So these flags, I made them kind of inspired by Japanese temple flags where you write your good intentions on these. But you can hang this as decorations. They're basically festival items. Signage. So I'll give this away in addition to a light box. So let's do our drawing. Let me compose the list on the YouTube form. One minute here.
Are we still doing this out of 221?
No, we got more entries, so give me 1 minute here. Okay, so it's going to be 1 to 301 for the YouTube entries. I give everybody from YouTube 5 entries.
301.
Yep. All right, Manny, take it away.
The number is 258.
200s are winning. 258. 2, 5, 8. Ruben DC, 7 from Instagram. Are you here?
Ruben DC?
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think Ruben DC is here. So let's pick another number, Manny.
Next number is 95.
Outdoors with Camp, CMP. Oh, Ruben is here.
No.
YouTube's delayed. Okay, never mind. Ruben is the winner. Ruben. Congratulations, Ruben. Let me just just type in my note that way. Okay, cool. Congrats. Okay, so last topic that we're going to be discussing today. How are we doing on time? We got 15 more minutes. Great. All right, so the last topic that we want to talk about is, since the holiday is coming, what are some good ideas for gifts?
Oh,
Manny?
that's the big thing that happens kind of like every year. You're trying to figure out what you can get your friends, your loved ones, right, who are into camping and all that. Um, Depending on kind of like what your budget is, you can start off as something as small as a spork. One of the items I like recommending to people are the stacking mugs. That is like a fun gift, right? You can either start them off just by getting them like one of the sizes, or if you're nice enough, you can get them like all three that stack together. For your like coffee aficionados, right? You can do some of our coffee accessories. You can do like the pour overs, the French press. One thing that I always like recommending to people who come into store, the large cutting board, because right, you get a cutting board and a knife out of there. The other one that people always kind of like laugh about when I recommend, but they ultimately get it, and then they're always happy that they did get it, was the Tremezino. So that little sandwich press, that was something that for sure I know I wouldn't have bought on my own for myself, but I did get one of those like as a gift a few years back, and I was like so excited using that at home for like 3 weeks straight, just making sandwich presses the whole time. I had to like curb myself off of that habit, but that is such a fun thing because yeah, you can take it out camping, but you can also just use it at home for cooking. Another popular item, especially like families when you're trying to figure out what to get dad, most of the time getting them like the takibi set, because
Oh yeah, that's great.
yeah, dads love just kind of cooking like barbecues and all that.
Grilling, doing manly
Grilling,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. Chopping wood. I know a certain someone who likes to get axes to cut wood. Um, yeah,
It's
there's
not
a
me.
there's a little bit of something for everyone, Bruce. But yeah, if you've got someone right who's been wanting an upgrade on a tent, right, and you've got this guy, if you want to go big on a gift, but usually there's a lot of kind of like IGT pieces that people are always appreciate having, especially if they've got like a basic setup and they've always been looking to do upgrades. Um, and if it isn't like the hard good stuff, there's plenty of apparel. Like if you have looked at the site or been in the store, there's this like nice patterned cardigan that has just been a great seller here.
Yeah,
You've
that
got
thing
like
is
you've got a
that item's
nice,
hot, huh?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really really fun piece. You've got it in a bright colorway and a more kind of earth tone colorway.
And
Um,
there's a blanket that goes with that pattern too,
there is
right?
a blanket, but
Yeah.
that's sold out already. I
Wow.
was surprised on how quickly that sold out because I wasn't able to get mine. I thought there would have been more inventory, and next thing I know, it was fully sold out. Yeah. What else?
Well, for me, like I think for thinking about non-campers, because I mean, I like to go camping, but most of my friends that I grew up with or people that I know don't go camping. So I would think about like getting them Snow Peak stuff for non-campers, and I think titanium's a great start. I mean, all of these mugs right here, these cups, they're great. You give it to them, they can drink it for their coffee, and it's just like one of those iconic things where it feels a little bit different. I use my titanium cup at work and in the office. I just, and then people see the color when I carry this. They're like, "Oh, I really like your water bottle." I'm like, "Thanks." Have you not seen Lauren? I mean, she uses it. It's Snow Peak. I used this before she used it. So, but anyway, she's the one that started it, right? Where everybody noticed this water bottle, the Aurora bottle. But this is a little bit pricey. However, the price just got lowered. I can't believe that you guys lowered the price. That's incredible. It used to be like $180. Now it's like 100 and what, 40?
I think so.
It was
Yeah,
like 180, 190
yeah,
for
we
this
we
bottle.
we did a whole kind of like reset on on our Thai drinkware just to kind of keep it more in line with like Japan's pricing now, just better suited. And yeah, and that Aurora bottle, even before the price kind of adjustment, was a great seller. And now that it's been reduced in price, we can't keep it in stock. So for those of you who are looking at the website, yes, there are more rainbow Aurora bottles coming in. I just don't know. Hopefully we get more inventory before Christmas time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aurora bottles for sure are a great gift option. I have seen people come in here and literally buy a dozen of them to
Whoa.
give as gifts. Um, the Aurora bottle for sure is probably the top gift idea,
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
like Sikoa said for your non-camping friends. It's just a great piece overall.
And I mean, it's just like there's nothing. The engineering is incredible, but other than that, it's not a double layer thingy. But I'm just so sick and tired of those tumblers that you get, those generic double wall tumblers that you use for one season and you get bored of design, you throw it away. But this, like, it has character, it has dings on it, it has scratches because I've been using it for a few years, and for me, that's heritage. I can pass this down or I can use it for a long time. So definitely, I feel like this is my go-to water bottle. Is minimalistic, it's simple, and it's a lifetime worth of usage. So that's why I really love this Aurora bottle. But not only that, like last year, I gave one of my friend a coffee making set. Like I give one of these coffee dripper thing, and then two titanium cups for them to drip coffee. So those are some like gift ideas. And I also saw people making Bruce making candles with the cup right here. So if you're into arts and craft, maybe you can think of some creative way to use these products in your arts and craft, like making candles. And it looks really great, the one that Bruce made for me. I haven't used it yet. We're saving it for a special occasion. It's apparently supposed to smell like takibi when you're sitting around wood fire. It's fantastic. Um, yeah. Other than that, I think another really cool one is the Wabuki chopsticks. Now the Wabuki chopstick is different from the titanium one because you fold it and then you can wear it around your neck. I actually wear it to the restaurant, Manny. Did you know that? I bring it with me. I don't have it with me today, but I bring it, and my non-Snow Peak friends, they're like, "Why do you bring your own chopsticks?" I'm like, "Who uses disposable chopsticks at the restaurants? I gotta keep my clean chopsticks that is sourced correctly from Snow Peak." So that's why I think the Wabuki chopstick is a very nice gift set for people. Anything else that we missed out on in terms of like gift giving?
Gift giving, probably like those little mini Hazukis
Oh yeah, that's
because
great. Yeah,
they're perfect, right? Because you're non-campers, like the way I tell people like out here in the Pacific Northwest, like it gets dark in the wintertime, and you do a lot of like evening walking and it's dark, like it's nice to have that little light. So especially if you're walking through like kind of darker kind of streets and all that and you don't know what you're stepping in, that's a nice way to kind
that's
of light up
dangerous.
light up the path.
Yeah, light up the
Um,
path.
yeah,
And
and then the fact that they're rechargeable, right? Just about every household has multiple charging cables and devices, so
exactly.
there's no reason why you should never keep one of those lights charged up. But the
And
mini Hazukis are
yeah, you
great.
should get a Snow Peak Takibi pants because a lot of those pants has a little place where you can hang the mini Hazuki on your pants around the waistline, the belt line. Fantastic design. Very modular, even with apparel. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys got some really good ideas from gifts from us, and hopefully you guys got a good review of all the 2025 products. And looking forward to the festival products that are coming up. I'm super excited about some of the festival products. Like Manny said, we're going to be competing for who gets the shades first, right? So I know I'll probably be buying like half a dozen of those shades because I have a lot of mini Hazukis, and you can never use one mini Hazuki at a time, right? You got to use like at least half a dozen or something like
Yep,
that to
you
keep the
can't
area
have
lit.
just one. The mini Hazukis get lonely and they like to have friends, so you end up getting multiple mini Hazukis, and
Yeah,
they come in different colors as well. So
yeah, it's great for our nursery. My wife just said that we use it in our room for Evelyn, and it gives that nice ambient light. We also have the home and camp lantern, I think. Um, in Evelyn's room, and it's just like a really nice nightlight, very soft and soothing. Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna do the last drawing. This is for the big one where you will get everything that you see here, and not this right here. The sign, the flags, and this battery right here that we're gonna send out to you guys. Let's do it for the big one, Manny. Give me 1 minute here. We got a few more YouTube entries.
While Tico is doing that, I'm going to chat with most of you who are still paying attention. Here, I have the picture of a tent that a handful of you have asked for, which unfortunately was not going to make it into the US. This is the Zeus model. One thing that I wanted to let all of you know that somehow one of these magically arrived to the store, and I have one available for sale. So for anyone who did have their eye on a Zeus, you can definitely call me in at the shop once we open after 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you want details about the tent, or if you just want to buy it, we are happy to ship it out or set it aside for you to come and pick up. But that is a tent that unfortunately is not going to make it into the States, and I have one here in the shop.
And it's Pro Air technology.
Yes. So
Yes.
it's a lightweight for the most part for its size. I believe you helped set one up.
Yeah, I set it up. I set
Yeah.
Jessica's Zeus Pro up. Yep.
Yeah. You can be one of two people in the US
That gets it.
that got one.
Well, I was gonna get it, but you know, there's other things that I want to get. So, but it is a really nice shelter. It is lower. It's like a turtle shape. It is lower than what you would expect, but it's not like super low or anything where you have to like crouch all the time. We had it in pouring rain, and it stood up perfectly fine. No leaks or anything like that. What else do I have? It does come with an inner tent, so it's all in one package for that pricing. So you're interested? Give the store a call, and please do it soon because I know a lot of people are trying to get it. All right, I'm ready. So it's gonna be number 1 to 300, no, 316.
All right. The generator says 139.
Ooh, 139. $139. It is going to be Alex Yem. Is Alex here? Check Instagram. Alex Yem.
Alex, speak up or forever hold your peace.
Okay, we'll give it about 15 more seconds.
While we're waiting, just in case most of you who are on here, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, if you haven't heard, right, early next year, we will be opening up a store in Seattle.
Yay, super
So,
excited for that.
For some of you, it will help trim your commute down to Portland to pick your stuff up. And I know for some of you, it's not going to make a difference, and you're still going to come down here to visit the shop and get a good deal. But yeah, that is something that you guys will be getting up in the Seattle area. Even for those of you who are on here who might be viewing from BC, now you have a shorter, road trip to go pick up your gear. Yeah, hopefully in the coming months we have a better date that we can give all of you. But as of right now, it's supposed to be first quarter, hopefully, of next year. And yeah, we'll look forward to kind of seeing all of you there.
All right, Manny, we're gonna have to go with the next number, please. Go ahead and hit that generate.
310.
Okay, this one is a YouTube entry. Anthony Nguyen. Little antagonist? No, Ant Nguyen. That's you. Hey, that's you. Oh yeah, that is you. Congratulations, you won. That's your email on the form, right, Anthony? I'll shoot you an email with the your to get your info. All right. Cool. Thank you. Well, thanks so much, guys, for attending. We wish you guys a happy holiday, and thanks so much for attending the live stream. And we will catch you next year.
Yeah.
Catch you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.